A ceasefire deal is on the table, but Hamas refuses to agree to the terms. Ephraim Graham has that story and more from the CBN newsroom. Ephraim?
Andrew, the U.S. is urging Hamas to take the deal and free more hostages, but leaders in the terror group say a temporary ceasefire does not go far enough. With the Islamic holy month of Ramadan fast approaching, time is running out for an agreement. Paul Strand reports now from Jerusalem.
As the war in Gaza continues, negotiators in Egypt have yet to achieve a breakthrough with Hamas for a ceasefire. President Biden says Israel has done its part, and now it's up to the terror group to reach an agreement.
The hostage deal is in the hands of Hamas right now, because they've been an offer, rational offer. The Israelis have agreed to it.
Hamas leaders reject the idea of a temporary ceasefire, calling it a trick by America and Israel to let the Jewish nation just keep on killing Palestinians in Gaza.
I think it's a political farce for the American administration to support the Israeli opinion that Israel has the right to stop killing for a few weeks and then return to that killing.
The U.S. counters Hamas could end the fighting today.
They could end this entire conflict, right? We don't need a temporary ceasefire. Hamas would lay down their weapons and stop fighting. You could have a permanent ceasefire because Israel would have accomplished its military objectives. With respect to the temporary ceasefire that we are trying to achieve, we very much think that an agreement is reachable.
The Islamic holy month Ramadan, the unofficial deadline for an agreement, begins in a few days and has often been a time of increased Muslim violence. Hamas, Iran, and its other proxies in the region are openly for more October 7th style attacks, but this time in Jerusalem and on the Temple Mount.
There's got to be a ceasefire, because Ramadan, if we get into a circumstance where this continues through Ramadan, Israel and Jerusalem, it could be very, very dangerous.
For instance, Turkey's president is warning Israel not to restrict access to the Temple Mount for Muslims during Ramadan, or it will face real trouble.
The consequences of taking such a step will undoubtedly be very severe.
Israel's prime minister is reassuring the world that his nation will protect religious freedom.
We will do everything to preserve the freedom of worship on the Temple Mount. Israel's policy has always been and always will be to maintain freedom of worship for all religions.
Meanwhile, as Iran's proxy Hezbollah starts firing many more missiles into northern Israel, the Jewish nation's defense minister warns that Hezbollah's increased aggression is, quote, dragging the parties to a dangerous escalation. The U.S. is trying to work out a peace deal between Israel and Hezbollah, and some Israelis warn America must succeed or fighting could spiral out of control.
The U.S. wants to avoid a regional and maybe global war. It needs to show leadership and really deter Iran and Hezbollah.
As for Hamas, a new UN report accepts charges the terror group committed widespread rape and sexual violence October 7th. The report took 5 months, but Israelis are gratified the truth's finally been acknowledged.
And this is the first time the big wide world is seeing that this is a fact, a horrific, horrible fact.
Paul Strand, CBN News, Jerusalem.